When a civilization became too dangerous to manage, the galaxy did not destroy it. It isolated it. Humanity was expected to disappear quietly.
The law. Fear. Containment was the galaxy's preferred solution. When a civilization became too powerful, too unpredictable, or too disruptive, the response was never immediate destruction. That risked chaos. Instead, the galaxy isolated the problem. Trade restrictions, navigation limits, technological ceilings. Containment worked because most species feared stagnation more than extinction. They complied, adapted downward, and eventually faded into irrelevance. For thousands of years, this system maintained balance. No species resisted containment successfully. Until humanity. The human incident. The first containment measures were subtle. Human expansion corridors were reduced. Joint research projects quietly ended. Navigation beacons rerouted traffic away from human space. The expectation was clear. Humanity would slow down. Instead, they reorganized. Cut off from external markets, humans built internal redundancy. When denied access to alien technology, they refined their own. When excluded from trade networks, they strengthened local systems. No protests were filed. No threats issued. Galactic monitors noticed something unexpected. Human productivity did not decline. It increased. Containment had not weakened humanity. It had focused them. The galactic reaction. Council analysts reassessed. Containment was meant to restrict growth, not refine it. But humanity responded differently than predicted. Isolation did not create desperation. It created cooperation. Human regions shared resources freely. Knowledge moved faster, not slower. Failures were absorbed collectively instead of punished. This behavior unsettled the council. Containment assumed fear of loss. Humanity treated loss as a problem to solve together. New measures were proposed. Stricter borders, deeper isolation. But concern spread. If containment failed once, escalation might expose a deeper flaw in galactic control doctrine. Humanity was labeled containment resistant, a rare and troubling classification. Humanity's response. Eventually, humanity was informed. The message was carefully worded. Containment was not a punishment, it was precaution. Human leaders acknowledged the decision without hostility. They did not argue for inclusion. They did not demand reversal. They asked only one question. What behavior would convince the galaxy that containment was unnecessary? The answer came back unclear. Containment had never been lifted before. Humanity accepted this reality calmly. If isolation was permanent, they would endure it. If trust was impossible, they would build without it. This response unsettled the council more than defiance ever could. The ally/witness. One observer began to question the doctrine. The Sarathi, specialists in sociological collapse, studied humanity's response to isolation. They found no cultural decay, no fragmentation. Instead, they found purpose. Human narratives shifted inward. Exploration became responsibility. Growth became sustainability. Progress became resilience rather than expansion. The Sarathi witness reported, "This species does not fear being alone, it fears being unprepared." Still, containment fleets remained active. The test continued. The sacrifice. The crisis arrived without warning. A containment boundary failed near a densely populated neutral system. A cascading instability threatened to collapse multiple transit corridors. If left unresolved, billions would die. Human engineers were closest. Entering the zone meant violating containment and likely death. No authorization was granted. Human vessels entered anyway. One ship stayed behind to manually stabilize the rupture while others evacuated civilians. The crew understood the cost. There were no speeches, only action. The rupture sealed, the ship did not return. The official record later summarized the event with a line humanity had used before: better one life than billions. Aftermath/legacy. The council reconvened in silence. Containment had failed, not because humanity broke it, but because humanity ignored it to save others. The classification was revised. Humanity was no longer considered a threat to galactic balance. They were recognized as a stabilizing force. Containment measures were lifted gradually, not out of fear, but respect. Human space reopened not as a concession, but as acknowledgement. The galaxy learned a difficult lesson. You cannot contain a species that does not seek domination. You cannot isolate a civilization that builds strength through cooperation. Humanity did not resist containment. They rendered it irrelevant. HFY